All right, I decided to do a video for number 6 on page 94 because there's you kind of have to think outside the box on this one. It's not as straightforward as the other limit problems. So the first thing that you have to realize is that in order for this limit to equal something, because right now, if you take a limit as x goes to 0 and you have 0 in the denominator, the numerator has to be 0 also in order for you to have a limit that does exist. So what we're going to do first of all is just look at the numerator. We're going to come over to the side, take a limit as x goes to 0 of the square root of a plus bx minus root 3. And again, in order for this to have that 0 over 0, so you know to, what would Miss Prine say, take action, then that numerator has to equal 0. So when you take the limit and substitute 0 in for x, you get the square root of a minus the square root of 3 equals 0. So right off the bat, you know that a equals 3. So now this problem becomes much more straightforward to solve for b. So the limit is x goes to 0 of the square root of 3 plus bx minus root 3 all over x equals root 3. And so now you do see that you have the 0 over 0, and you know again to, wait for it, take action. So because this is the difference of two radicals, the technique we're going to use is by multiplying by the conjugate. So 3 plus bx plus root 3, I want to do that second, sorry, minus root 3 times the product of square root of 3 plus bx plus root 3 all over x times, and I know this is a lot to write out, but it's going to give us the answer. Okay, multiplying out the numerator, which is what you always want to do here, you get 3 plus bx minus 3 over x times the quantity, square root of 3 plus bx plus root 3. And since we haven't really had class to talk about this, you always multiply out the numerator because those are the conjugates, but you don't multiply out the denominator because if you do, then you don't see the obvious cancellation. So the 3's cancel, the x's cancel, and we have the limit as x goes to 0 of b over, and when you put 0 in for x, you get root 3 plus root 3, which is 2 root 3. And if you remember, we're solving for b, so this limit equals root 3, cross multiply. We've actually taken the limit, so I'm going to subtract or erase that, and I get b equals 6. So my answer is b equals 6 and a equals 3, and I know this was kind of a tough problem, and I hope it helps.